everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sekani, a podcast for people in their 20s who are trying to figure out life and not get lost along the way. Today's guest is Andy, a leadership expert, author, and creator of Love Intelligence, with nearly 4 decades of experience across finance, banking, and corporate leadership. Andy now focuses on a different question: what actually makes someone valuable in a world where skills alone are no longer enough? Through his framework of care, courage, and connection, he teaches people how to build trust, make better decisions, and stay relevant in the age of AI. Andy, welcome to Conversations with Sekani. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Welcome, huh? Yeah.
All right, so heads up, we're going to be diving a little bit into your 20s.
Yes.
Okay, so what was early in your career like during your 20s? What did you believe success was?
Oh, I am 63 years old. I've been working for
Mm.
almost 40 years.
Wow.
So if I look back, the factor that determines career success in our society here is adaptability. We need to adapt,
Mm.
and because things change a lot, change very fast. So what used to work in the past may not work today.
Mm.
And I give you an example. What worked in the past will be those very perfect situations, like you need to speak perfectly, you need to have all the proper. But today with AI, all these can be generated by AI. You don't need a human being.
Mm.
So now, if you speak perfectly because you're reading from the teleprompter, reading from the scripts, actually people will not bother to listen to you. But if you speak from your heart, even though your language is not perfect, and you may stammer here and there, people
Mm.
do value because that's called sincerity. So that's how the world has changed, right?
All right. Okay. So, I spoke with a guest, right, yesterday, and it was almost the same thing we are discussing right now. I asked him, in this fast growing world of AI, what is a skill that one needs to learn? And she said it's those skills that AI cannot take from you, which is
Yes,
the human skill,
human
right?
skills. Yes,
Exactly, the human
which
skills like conflict resolution,
yes,
empathy. Those are the skills
yes.
now that AI cannot take from you. So this is me asking you now, what skill do you think we need to learn now that AI cannot take away from us?
I think the key thing is the trust.
Hmm.
With automation, there is less trust. For example, in my meeting with you, and if everything is automated, I'm supposed to click here, click there, and then but sometimes some people may not be that good in doing this, so they may miss out. So if you have some personalized messages instead of everything generated from AI, there will be more trust. So the other thing about trust is that it is taken for granted because AI, you can fake things easily. So for example, the bank the message from the bank, that can be fake totally. So if you just transact online without meeting a person face to face in dealing with money, that is very risky today. I mean, even though it could be from the government, or a government bank, and those can be fake, and then they can fake it until it's so real. There'll be a few people calling you, including. So the trust is the main thing. So the lack of trust is what is slowing us down. That's what I feel. Like you cannot scan a QR code because it's so full of scams. And last time you just tell me scan the QR code today, unless they see you face to face.
Exactly.
If they see you face to face, it's different. They will scan. But if it's online, ask me to scan this, they will say, "Oh, I dare not scan." Because I was selling my books, and then they want to buy. I say, you just click here. Yeah, I just make payment online. They say, I don't know where it's real, don't know where it's you. Is this sent by you, ND, or not? That's why I call you. Okay.
Exactly.
So we are supposed to be more productive, but because the lack of trust, so we have to spend more time doing. The book is only It's a very low cost book. You know, it's only how many dollars? $30 Singapore dollars, and then and people cannot trust it. $30 is funny, right? Am I going to cheat you for one book $30, which is funny? So I find that trust is really lacking, and especially recently, so many scams. But the lucky thing in Singapore is that we trust the government. I know many places don't trust the government.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
at least in Singapore we have this thing. Because many places the government is actually, I mean, they're telling lies every moment, every minute, right? So at least in Singapore we have this. But among the people here, so in business, so yeah, so we need to meet face to face for some important things. So trust is so I believe trust is built from love intelligence. So love intelligence is not love. Love intelligence is love with intelligence, because pure
Okay.
love could be addiction, could be affection, could be just attachment, could be blind faith, could be just I like you, you like me. So love intelligence has the courage inside. You have the three words, you know. My background: care, courage, and connection. The one below is connection. So love intelligence means that you have the connection to dare to do the right thing, to dare to do the difficult thing. So when two persons are in love, they have the care, definitely have the connection. They may lack the courage to do the right thing. So they may just be just accommodating each other. Like the marriage is very functional. So functional marriage is not a real marriage, right? By the way, it's functional because it performs the functions, but then there is really the lack of love. So I believe the courage is courage to speak our minds, courage to do what is right, and courage to say no, courage to believe in what you believe and not be swayed by people. That is something that is more difficult today. That's what I believe in.
Exactly. Okay, so you just mentioned care, courage, and connection. So I need to know, how does it show up in real life leadership? How can we apply this in leadership?
Sure. So for example, when the guy is not performing, the typical leader will speak this way. Why are you not hitting your targets?
Exactly.
Do you need? So they go for the why first. So in care, courage, and connection, you start with care. So instead of why are you not performing, you start with care. Is there something that is stopping you? Is there something that I can help? So it's a genuine kind of care. It is not the words that you say. Of course, I can say with very caring words, but it's the tonality, the way I said it. So it start with care. So as a leader, you care first. So the guy is not performing. If I care, I would know that he will feel as bad as me, if not even worse, right? So
Exactly.
before I even scold him, he will be scolding himself. That's why I would care, and then after that, I will have the courage to ask him, "Is this what you? Is this really your work, or is there something that is really stopping you?" And then be honest and tell me that, because the problem may come from the leadership as well, right? So whenever I speak, I want to use the connection. I want to connect to his heart, to his inner self, instead of just we are colleagues. You are my staff. That kind of connection is very shallow. No, but deeper connection is we can connect to the past. We can also connect to the future. So his performance now it's not the future. The future, how can we connect to the future? Like today's failure, how can be tomorrow's success? How can we learn from this? How can we connect today's failure to tomorrow's success? So I will believe if you use love intelligence of the care, courage, connection, the starting point is always the care. Care as a human being, not as you are my staff, care for you as a person, that you are responsible enough. I have to make the assumption that you don't perform is not your own will, that there are some issues involved. And then maybe you dare not tell me, because if you tell me, then you're exposing your weakness. Then I may be thinking that you are lousy. I will replace you. So I have to give you some safety things, safety buffers, to tell you that today's meeting is to find out what is the issue, how we can help, and this is not going to be like you don't perform, then you'll be
Yeah.
jeopardized. Yeah, so I have to give him the safety thing is to get the job done, is to solve problems, and not to like as a performance appraiser. So today you're not performing, you're going to cut your bonus, that kind of thing. So really the care, the care is my genuine kind of care, and it is also through action, not just verbal, right? So the leader must do something, like you already started doing something. For example, you buy food for them, that kind of things lah. You help them to resolve the technical issues, that kind. So I believe the care is. So of course all these things takes time, because today we are so supposed to be productive and efficient, so we often assume things are there, but unfortunately we could be productive but we are not effective, because without the care, the human touch is not there, so the connection is not there, so the deeper part is not there. So even though he performs, but he's performing at a very shallow level. That's not what we want, because that can be done by AI, right? I mean, if you're giving me work that's very easily automated, then the AI can do a better job than you. But we need a human to do, because a human touch. Human touch is what's missing. But many people keep asking, what's human touch? Actually, as a human, you will know what's human touch. You don't need to learn. We just forget about it in our pursuit of excellence, pursuit of targets. We often ignore the human touch. We often ignore the care. So we don't need to learn such things. We just need to go back to our pure human self. We are all humans. It's just that so many years we just assume, and then we become very much like a robot. I call it a humanoid. A humanoid is a human that behaves like a robot. That's called humanoid. So, for example, they are very standard in their answers. They don't show. They don't show the care. They have the humanoid show. The humanoid can dance better than humans. So the problem is not that the robot can do better than humans. The problem is the humans are behaving like robots today.
Exactly. Yeah.
The humans. So the humans. So I often say that people say why we like to interact with AI. Why the AI is a better coach or counselor than a human being. The key reason is AI has memory and AI has context. Human beings, we have to look at the data. If I talk to you, if I coach you, then I forgot what you told me 3 months ago. I look at the file. But AI does not have such a problem. AI, the memory is unlimited. 3 years ago, something will still be there. And AI has a context. Human beings' context is rather low. I find that there are people that will tell you, for example, they will ask me, can I buy the shares? So I say, you can buy. Then later when he lose money, he says, Andy, you say can buy shares, I lose money. You must look at the context. Every day the war is happening. Tomorrow Donald Trump says something. You cannot hold me responsible. Every moment is changing, right? You look at the context. I say the context because the war seems to be like they say ceasefire, but it's not a ceasefire, right? So they say ceasefire, so the shares go up. So can buy, but then how do I know the next moment they have a war again, right? So the context, whereas AI has context. I find that when you interact with AI knows your grammar errors. So we can even type in imperfect, and we can mix, because in Singapore they like to mix English with Chinese, and sometimes their English is not the standard English, it's the Singlish. Singlish means it's Singapore English. It's not that the standard, huh? So, but AI, you'll be surprised that AI can understand us. And after a while, they know our style, my speaking, and then they even I pronounce wrongly. They know what I'm talking about. So surprising, the human has no context. Human will point out the typo error. So as a trainer, sometimes people will point out, and then your spelling is wrong. AI will never tell you your spelling is wrong. AI knows this thing called context. If you can spot a typo error, if you can spot a spelling error, there is no error to you. Please understand that. You can spot the error, that means there's no error to you. You're able to contextualize and perceive it properly. unless this is an English class, then they're very concerned about grammar, right? So we should be more concerned about the message behind rather than the English, because we are not teaching English, right? So but surprisingly, AI has that better than humans. They focus on that. They focus on those not important things, instead of focusing on the message, and then they. So that's why I feel maybe because we have been using computers for too long, that we are so used to those standard things, so we cannot accept. But the point is really the context is everything. Whatever we speak is all about context. So when you use the word love, you use it in the right context. I'm not talking about the man-woman love, right? So people say, oh, Andy, you're talking about a soft thing. I mean, in Chinese, there are two different words for love. There is the one word I, and also the other word 爱情. But in English, it's only one word, love. Unfortunately, the I is referring to a pure love. The 爱情 is referring to the man-woman love. But in Chinese, there are two different words. But unfortunately, in English, there's only one word. Use the word love, then they say, you're talking about love. So they start to think, so they don't know the context. We're talking about the love in a different context. So that's what I feel. That's why that's why people like to use AI so much. And if this goes on, people be communicating with robots, with AI much more than human beings. Because the human beings never are not human enough. That's the problem. The human beings are not human enough. That's why I prefer to talk to a AI. AI has context. AI has memory. I don't have to repeat my story, right? Human beings, they may not remember. Then, but I met my friend, and then outside, then he asked me, what am I doing here? I said, I'm coming here to eat. I mean, this is an eating place. And he said, why you come here? I said, this is near my house. Then he asked me, I thought you stay in another place. I said, that was 10 years ago, Now his information is outdated by 10 years. When I told him I stay near here, and he started to doubt me. I thought you stay somewhere, which is funny, right? I mean, how can you doubt something that I say? You can doubt my opinion about the Iran war. You can doubt that, but you cannot doubt a fact. I stay near here. And say, I thought you stay nearby. I mean, he should be saying that my last information that you stay in another place. I didn't know you stay here. Instead, I thought. So when he said that I thought that you stay somewhere, he's implying that his information is correct. My information is wrong. Which is funny. When you're asking something about me, how can my information be wrong? So I don't know, maybe that may not be his intention, but the way when people speak is very fast. So sometimes maybe we never update our information inside here. And then we still hold something so long ago. But even if I stay far away, come here to eat, there's nothing wrong, right? Singapore is so small, right? We're not Nigeria. You know how small is Singapore? From the maximum is from the east to the west is east to west maximum is 50 kilometers. North to south is 30 kilometers.
Oh wow, it's small.
Yeah, definitely
It's
small.
small.
So even if I stay at one corner, I come to the other corner to eat. Actually, there's nothing wrong, right? But people normally don't accept that. If you come here, you must be staying nearby here. Which is that's people's mindset. So geographically, that's the distance, right? So yeah, 50 kilometers. If you were to drive from one corner, the other corner is the airport. So another corner is the industrial estate.
Oh, right.
So
Wow.
that's
Okay, so this has been, I'm not gonna lie, this has been amazing, right? I liked that we touched every aspect we went from, the concepts of love, intelligence to care, courage, and connection, which simply means that we as humans, we should have genuine care
yes,
for people, not the fake kind of care, genuine
yes,
care. And you should be able to have the courage to ask those questions that are not always asked or often asked. And
yes,
also, we should try to make a genuine human connection with
yes,
people, especially as leaders, right? Not the kind
yes,
of connection where, like you said, where you want them to be vulnerable to you so you can sack them. No,
yes,
it's the
yes, yes,
kind of care that you actually genuinely really care and you want them to be better, and you want the
Yes.
workflow to be better. Also,
Yeah.
we talked about AI, right? And I mean, like you said, trust. Trust is the word, right? It's trust that has now become very competitive, and humans now are more of the AI, right? The humans, I think you said,
They trust AI more now. They
exactly.
trust Google.
Exactly. They trust Google even more than a human being, which is it's crazy. I mean, like, how can you trust AI more than your fellow human? But like
Yes.
it's the world we are living in today, right? So we just have to find a way to navigate
Yes.
it. And yes. So just one question I have for you, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like I've learned so much already from our conversation. And yes, I need to know, how can someone lead and succeed without burning out or losing themselves?
Without losing themselves, is it?
Yes.
Oh, the people must go back to their purpose.
Hmm.
Your purpose is not your title, your role, or who you are known as. Your titles may change, your roles may change, but your purpose is much deeper than that. So we often forget about the purpose. We just focus on the role or title. For example, my role is a manager, a leader. So I'm supposed to push for results. But my purpose is more than that. My purpose is to harness the potential in people. So it's not just pushing for results. So if I want to harness the potential in people, I will start to look at things differently. My intention will be different. But if I just focus on my title, my role, so I'm a policeman. Of course, there's different policemen. They have to do their job. But we are not talking about policemen. We talk about we're handling human beings' performance. So we'll go back to our purpose and always focus on the purpose rather than the things that we are supposed to do, but may not be the purpose is the deepest part. When you're aligned with the purpose is your soul. If you're aligned with your inner soul, then you don't need to pretend. You don't need to think. You can speak off the cuff. But if not, you have to depend on teleprompters. You have to rely on AI scripts
Ooh,
because it's not speaking your heart. You're trying to speak
exactly.
something very perfect. You're trying to
Exactly.
pretend, but it has no value today because in the past I, I took from the books I speak and people say I'm very good. But today has no value because AI is so instantly available. Last time I have to do research. I have this book they don't have. So I speak something from the book. People think I'm very intelligent. But today it has no value because AI. So today if I speak from my heart, it has value. Because I speak from the guru, it has no value because there's so much. It's so easily available. Why you have to repeat something in
Exactly.
the AI, right? You talk to me, no point. You just say something. It's wasting my time. I have AI myself, right? I have Google myself, right? So you want to hear from the people's perspective, their their opinion, their view. That's how news has changed. Just reporting news has no value. You must report from the angle. You must do some analysis, and then people will want to read your news or listen to your news. Otherwise, it's wasting time, So, wasting time. The news is already there on the internet. Why must you report to me? I mean, it's wasting my time. But you tell me your anger. How does it affect us? That's different. Then I want to listen to your news. So that's also a care. If at the care, you will bother to have the perspective. It doesn't matter your perspective is right or wrong. But you have a perspective. Of course, if you care enough, you won't be giving a wrong perspective. If you can misleading people, like if you don't care
Exactly.
enough, you only care for money, you will be misleading people for the sake of business.
Exactly. All right. Wow. Thank you so much. Andy, this has been amazing, honestly. Now I get to understand the concept of genuine care, right?
Yes.
And the difference between human connection and AI. Even though our world today, we are relying more on AI than human connection, which is something that I think the awareness should be out there. People should know and understand that they need to make genuine human connection with
All right.
humans and not AI, right? So
Yeah, we are humans all along. Just that we
we are all
forgot about it.
humans.
We forgot
Exactly.
about it.
So yeah, it's something, these are conversations that are very important, especially for young adults to
Yes.
understand, because the younger you know this, you grow up with those values, right? And it is
Yes.
easier to instill those values in you. So
Yes.
yes, thank you so much, Andy. And
Yeah.
finally, I'm
Yes.
curious, right? I want to know, what are you currently working on that is exciting you the most right now?
Oh, is the Chinese this love intelligence? Because
Okay.
I believe the Chinese market is big. China is big, so now
Mm,
I'm working on the Chinese course. So I'm working on one Chinese course that is the content is driven by 10 songs. 10
mm.
Chinese songs. So the 10
Wow.
songs will drive the content. So once I successfully deliver this, I will also do the English version. Then I'll pick, of course, the
Mm,
English songs. So it's another way of doing a training or seminar is that it's driven by song. So there's more
mm.
entertainment. People can hear the song, they can sing along. So,
Okay.
and then because the song is like this, but then I can offer a different perspective. You may
Mm.
have listened to this song before, but you never see this from this perspective. So it becomes
Exactly.
a teaching material. So this is something I'm currently working on. So it starts with
Wow.
the Chinese first, then later I move to the English songs.
English.
10
All right.
songs is the maximum for, yeah, I mean for a half day, for 3 hours, 10
Mm.
songs is the maximum.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty interesting, right? Trying to fuse music and,
Yes,
trying to like send a message with music, right? It's
yes,
interesting. It's what would draw people's attention,
yes,
especially in this world where the attention span is very low, right? I
yes.
think music is a perfect way
Mm.
to
We
attract
say it's a
people's
universal
attention.
language.
Exactly, a universal language. And yes, that's it's. I wish you the very best, right? And I know
Thank
that
you,
what
thank you,
you're doing is gonna
thank you.
go very far. And yes, when you release the music, please let me know, right?
Okay, okay. I think
I'm
I
your
have your
biggest
email, right? I have
fan.
your email. Is it correct? You
Okay.
send me the email, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Later you send
definitely.
me to the, of course, the recording of this Zoom. So I can find
Definitely,
it. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
All right, so I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to it. And
Thanks.
this brings me to the final segment of my podcast. It's called the rapid fire segment. Okay, so starting now, would you pick skill or trust?
Uh, Trust, is it? How say
Mm,
quickly what is trust, right? Trust
mm,
is automatic. Trust is inner self. Trust is
mm,
subconscious. Trust is also something. Trust is your intention. Is your belief. Is your loyalty. Is your human ability. Trust is also something that binds people, something that can last, and
mm,
trust is invisible. Trust is
exactly.
something that can be verified, can be seen from the
Mm,
past. It's not a projection, it's not a branding, it's
mm,
not how smart you are. It is something that is deep inside. Like we trust the weather, now we trust the animals. So trust is
mm,
something that is actually is natural. It's a
mm.
natural capability of all
Phenomenal.
living things.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for that one. And what is one word for leadership?
Build trust. Two words.
Trust.
Build trust.
Okay.
Build trust.
I'm curious, right? How would you pronounce trust in Chinese?
There are two words is 信任. 信任.
Okay. Six. Oh, it's so
信任.
difficult to
Two
pronounce.
words. Two words. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, Chinese is difficult.
Oh
But
man, it's difficult to pronounce. Okay, and finally, what is one principle you live by?
oh, I try. I mean, I'm not perfect. I
Exactly.
try to be as real as possible
Hmm.
and go with my heart. That's why I mean, at this age of 63, I do not need to please people. I do not need to prove myself. I do not need to show off. So I'm living in a more genuine way. So it's real. If you like me, share, fine. Don't like me, it's also fine. I do not need to change myself. So I go by the real feelings. That's what I'm
Hmm.
focusing now.
Exactly. All right. Wow. Okay, Andy, this has been fun and amazing, honestly, I must say. And where can listeners get to learn more about you and what you do?
Yes, they can. get the book from Amazon. It's available both ebook and the physical book version.
Mm.
So in Amazon, if you just search for Love Intelligence, there are only two books in Amazon with this title. So one of
Okay.
them is my Andy. So see the word Andy. The other one does not have Andy. And the book will give you good ideas, and of course, you inside the book you can explore further because I do provide some materials there to explore further. So I think the book would be a good starting point. And then, of course, if people prefer videos, then they have to go to my YouTube channels.
Mm.
But watching my YouTube channels, I have contents that are more than love intelligence. So sometimes it's not that people see many things, right?
Mm.
But then of course, the love intelligence would be a good starting point because it's very focused on love intelligence.
Exactly. I think I'll check out your YouTube channel.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's what I would have interest in, honestly. And maybe when this goes live, I'm going to tag you in your
Yes,
YouTube channel. So it will be like a
yes.
collaboration.
Oh,
Okay,
thanks,
so
Andy. Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome.
thank you so
Nice
much,
to meet you.
Andy. All
Nice to
right.
meet
And
you.
to my listeners, thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Sekani. If this episode sparked something in you, just as it did in me, make sure to share to someone who you think might need this and also subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. Thank you, Andy. Do have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Thank you,
All
thank
right.
you,
Bye.
thank you.